Okay, hello. So my name is Marlena Biczak, and I would like to tell you how I, as an artist, react for the time and for the environment we live in. And I will tell you what affects me and how I can deal with it through the art. And I will talk about the Anthropocene in two contexts. The first context and the first part of the presentation is about the influence, about the impact, how people influence on the world. And the second part is about the catastrophe, how can we deal with it through the art. And what is important, I base my presentation on the experience I gained during the work on my Ph.D, and which is titled Life Redirection. And maybe now I can show you some short video from this project, and I will explain what is it about. So this project is about many situations, many people, places, memory that has the biggest impact on my life. And this project is really huge. It was created several years, has many contexts, many levels and many parts, and I've decided to talk about the two, in my opinion, the most important part of it, because these two parts shows that through the art we can work with really difficult situation in our life. Okay, so maybe I will start with the first part. When I started the project, I was wondering what has the biggest impact on me, and I decided that it's a childhood, but it's quite difficult because it's not easy to show this period of time, because our memory are from this time are blurred, and it's not easy to catch them. And sorry, because I'm not sure. But I decided to show this memory using the places for my childhood, because I was wondering if I know the situation when our memory are most clear, and I decided that it's because of the context of the situation where they took place. And in my case, it was all connected with the hometown in Częstochowa, in a village city. Everywhere were forests, field, gardens, and it was my places on the world. And every time I back home, I feel like I back in time. And that's why I decided to talk about the memory in the context of the places. But looking today for these places, I see them in completely new way. The most difficult for me is the cruelty for nature. Almost the whole forest has been cut down. Here you can see the more than 100 years old. It had been cut down because it was necessary to build a bus station exactly in this place. And I've decided that I can make these places in the way I remember. So I decided to create it in my way. And for the start, I chose a digital camera, but I realized that it's too raw for them, because it shows it like only in this new context. And later I chose the camera obscura. but I've never used this technique before. So I treat the whole process like an experiment. I built the whole series of the pinhole camera, and I started the trip for these places, and I exposed the same situation many times, and I exposed many places in one frame. And when I finished this, I started the next level of the process, intaglio technique. And working on my matrix, I could create these places in a different way, because I could reduce all the situation I don't like. I could put more acid for hidden some places. Here you can see many matrix, and after the process of creating the matrix, I started the process of printing. Because when you have more than one matrix, you can create many versions of the graphic. I decided to show them in one long piece of paper, but I can create it every time in different way, because I put some matrix in one place, I can mix them together, and every time I have a different print. And here you can see how it looks like in real, and with the context of the size, because it's really huge. It has more than 5 meters. Marta, jaki mamy czas?
7 minut.
Okay, so maybe I will talk about the next context, about the catastrophe. And in this part, I will talk about the most difficult situation of my life. It's about the suicide of my father. And I've never worked with this topic before, but I was sure that during the process of Ph.D., which is about the important part of my life, I can't miss this topic. So it wasn't easy, but I know that it's important. And I decided what technique I should choose for this. And I decided to choose the method, because in my opinion is the most difficult and the most time-consuming technique I know. It's connected with the long process of rocking the plate, and that's why it's dedicated for the small places. But I chose the biggest one I could buy, so it was 100 by 200 centimeter, and all this process lasts about 380 hours. I can show you some video from this. It was about 5 or 6 months. Each day I did the same. But standing in front of this huge plate, I was working with something more bigger than the size of the plate. I was working with the most horrible memory of my life. And for a long time, I was, oh sorry. Oh no, sorry. Właśnie. Okay, so maybe next one. For a long time, I was sure that I finished this. That I finished this process when I stopped working on rocking the plate, and make a print of this. But then I realized that I will stop the process on the level of trauma, but in this project I wanted to win with this memory. So I decided to develop my project for the new step and make some lights for this horrible black. So here you can see my working on the image. It was probably longer than the previous step. And here you can see two levels of this. And the next part is not finished yet because I decided to make the whole trip from black to white, and I finished this process when I make completely a white print. Here you can see black image and some white, and here is a photo from my exhibition of Ph.D. Here you can see the whole prints and the matrix. And the matrix for me is not a matrix. For me, it's the most important part of this project because all the changes I made on the matrix are the symbol of the changes on my mind. So I think I can finished in this. Thank you very much.